Welcome back, note takers. This is Noah Aaron with the On a Real Note podcast.
And this is Aiden, and I am not one of the contestants on the unaired season of The Bachelorette, season 22.
And that's good for you because I don't think you want to have things thrown at you.
I mean, I feel like if that transpired during filming, they would have shut that down earlier.
That's true. That's true. It wouldn't have gotten this far 3 days before the premiere. Actually, we're recording this on what would have been premiere day. And the show has
Which
been
we should have
canceled.
been covering. That was the original plan for this
Yeah.
week's episode.
Yes. So actually, exactly. This episode took quite the turn in terms of planning because what we were going to do this week is we were going to watch the first episode of this new season of The Bachelorette, I believe season 22, starring Miss Taylor Frankie Paul from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Mom Talk, TikTok, all the bullshit. She was going to make her debut. We were going to watch the episode, then cover it. But obviously, plans have changed. This season has been canceled, and that's what we're going to kind of be talking about today. We're going to be going over kind of the background, why this season was canceled, what happened, the incidents involved, the players involved. We're going to be talking about the actions that both ABC, Hulu, and maybe some other brands have taken thus far. We're going to talk about public reactions, and then just kind of along the way, we're going to give you our thoughts and opinions on it. Now, let me start by saying this is a pop culture podcast. We are not, qualified professionals to be talking about violence in the home and the law and things like that. So
But
this ain't the
we are
Bravo docket.
qualified
Yeah.
to talk about this is not the Bravo docket, but
Yeah.
I am qualified to speak about marketing and advertising.
That's
And you are
true.
qualified to speak about finance. So
And I know Dakota ain't gotten in finances, but I can tell you that much.
I mean, he has the credits from this show, as Phaedra would say.
That's true. That's true. His last acting credit. Um, but yeah, so we're going to be getting into it, but please offer us a little bit of grace if we maybe don't have all of the terms right, if we don't have all of like the legal know-how. We're just like you in this situation. We're reading the shit on Twitter, and actually not on Twitter, we don't really go on there, but we're reading the shit on Reddit and Instagram.
No, quite literally, I opened up TikTok. That was the first TikTok I saw from TMZ, and I was getting it fresh. It was like 14 minutes ago when I saw it. Fresh comments don't have that much engagement yet, and I'm gasping.
Yeah.
Just seeing Taylor put Dakota in his headlock, yanking on his hair. And that's when I immediately hit the download button and sent it to you. So I don't even finish the video.
Yeah, no, you were just like, let me get this before it gets taken down. Cause I mean, on TikTok,
Right?
TikTok, they don't play about
Literally, I
violence.
do the
They're quick at
rounds,
taking
send
down.
it.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the rounds, and I send it to pretty much everyone I know that watches slow-mo. And I'm kind of like, have you seen this?
Yeah.
Like you're kind of breaking my day. And then I
Right.
go finish the video.
Yeah. Well, so that's kind of where I was. I think I started watching it, and I think like as soon as she cause and this reminded me of like the Candace and Monique fight, cause she grabbed him by the hair and yanked his head down. Like as soon as she grabbed him by the hair and yanked his head down and put him in a headlock, it was quick too. It was like a boom, boom, boom. She's done this before. It was quick. So like at that point,
you saw experience.
Yeah, I immediately stopped to send it to my mom because I was like, "Oh, my mom is going to be interested in this." But yeah, basically kind of the background of the incident is that, and I think this is where some confusion comes in as well, because there was actually a recent domestic violence case or allegations involving Dakota and Taylor. They've kind of accused each other of being physical recently. But this video itself is from the 2023 arrest where there was a dispute. They got into it. And then a neighbor called the police because they heard Taylor screaming. And then that led to what we saw basically unfold on the series premiere back in season 1 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And I think people were getting confused because I think people thought that this video was of the more recent incident. I know I did at first for a second. I think I even asked you. I was like, "Well, like, was this from like the recent one or the old one?" Because I guess a few days before this video came out, there were reports coming out about Taylor allegedly assaulting Dakota, allegedly strangling him with like a necklace or whatever. So like there were allegations coming out, and I think it's caused a little bit of confusion. But yes, this video, everything we saw in this video has technically been public knowledge. Like it was all in the police report. Taylor pled guilty to all of it. It was all public knowledge, but this was our
Yeah,
first time
she's been
actually
on
seeing any footage
probation.
of it. Yeah, because before we only saw the body cam footage of her arrest afterwards.
Yeah, no, which was featured on the show. But no, since then she's been serving probation that should end in August of this year. But no, there was definitely some confusion around which one it was. But speaking to the more recent one,
Mhm,
they stopped filming because of that, and it's been reported that a lot of the women on the cast are trying to distance themselves from Taylor,
mhm.
which leads me to believe they kind of got a heads up about this video coming out, and they
Yeah,
knew what was gonna pretty much go down as a result.
I know,
Which that should have been the bigger sign that her current show stopped filming.
right. That thing, yeah, I think that also has caused confusion too, because I think a lot of people think that, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives paused filming because of the video that came out and, went viral and everything, and not
Mhm.
because of that separate incident. Um, but, I've seen a whole lot of clips of Whitney back in season 1. I've seen that clip going against rounds about how brands aren't gonna wanna work with us if we're throwing chairs and getting arrested.
And I mean, Whitney Levitt is the one thing she's about is her bag and getting to them brand deals and them
That Levitt voodoo, it
sponsorships.
comes back.
She said, "Oh, we brand safe over here."
Right, I mean, I think she's like, especially now, she's like, "I'm on Broadway, I got things to lose."
Right?
I mean,
And
at
she
that
already can
time
charge a pretty penny for a post.
that thing yeah, at that time, the only thing she had to lose was her damn Rose toy deal. But now she's got bigger things going on.
Quite literally. No, yeah, because Whitney definitely has, like, the most to lose, and the rest of these women, I think, I don't know, scraping their coins I don't think they're scraping their coins together, but they're definitely trying to make the most of this 15 minutes, you know?
Yeah. I
Especially
think
if the show like, who knows what will happen with the show overall now? I
yeah,
mean, I think because it's at least set up kind of a like, obviously, it's Taylor's show, but I think Taylor and Whitney are kind of co-leads, or Whitney can be the lead if she needs to. I think it's not as much of a drastic hit, but the
yeah,
rest one of the other women are gonna have to step up a lot or be
right,
way more messy in their personal lives if to
right,
fill the gap of Taylor Frankie Paul, because that is just
right.
messiness that is unknown to this dimension. Like, she has 2000s reality star energy in 2026, which has unfortunately led us to this.
Right, that's the thing with Taylor is she has a very messy, crazy life, and it's, like, genuinely crazy, like, she doesn't have to, like, make shit up or, like, produce storylines because her life is just ridiculous. She's got all kinds of crazy shit going on at all times, and she's also, like she's very willing to show it all, I've never, like, watched the show and felt like she's hiding things from us necessarily.
Oh, no, for sure. It's the exact opposite. I'm like, "Oh, you you really wanna show this," and
Yeah,
I don't think production forced you at all. I think you just like taking the nuclear option, and now
yeah,
you have camera.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, let's kind of get specifically more into ABC and Hulu's actions in particular, but I also want to touch on Cinnabon saying I'm not doing this anymore.
They were, like, the first one too, which shout out
Yeah,
to them.
yeah. Cinnabon, they've stood by these girls through a lot, but they're just done. They've had enough. Uh, but yeah, so obviously, like you already mentioned, Hulu suspended filming of season 5 of the Real Housewives, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
I mean,
These are the
essentially.
youngins. These are the youngins. Uh,
I mean, they're
there's
all wives still. Most
yeah,
of them.
yeah, most of them. Unfortunately, I love those TikToks where it's like, "Leave your husband, leave your husband," because they all
I
have
mean,
most.
Jesse did. Jesse did.
I think finally she sure waited until the right day to announce it. She was like, "You know what? Taylor's got the spotlight. Let me just like slide this divorce announcement in
That
real
was
quick
insane.
while people are busy." I think she really was like, "You know what? This is great timing." Um,
Which I respect.
yeah, yeah, no, I think Jessie, I don't think she gets enough credit. She's got a lot going on up here. She's thinking.
No,
Uh,
for sure, and she's setting up her beauty empire.
yeah,
She's
she's
definitely,
ve
like, the business one. She's the Bethany, the Candy of the
yeah,
cast.
yeah, I think, people clown her a lot because of, like, her marriage and her whatever, but, what? I think she's got some smarts. But, yeah, so obviously Hulu has paused filming, which, honestly, good for these girls that they're getting a break because this show feels like it's been filming nonstop for several years now.
No,
Um,
back to back, and it's
yeah,
confusing. Like, I've said this when we covered Secret
yeah,
Lives of Mormon Wives, but the constant timelines and the girls, like, the development of their relationships over the seasons. It's like because 'cause they're talking about the reunion, we see them getting ready for the
Yeah.
reunion, so they're mad about stuff from last season, and then we kinda see that at the reunion too, but they can't talk
Mhm.
about what's happening on the next season.
Yeah.
It's just like a constant circle of things that I think they need to take a step back from,
Yeah.
and give the women some time to breathe, but I guess there's constantly something to capture in these ladies' lives. Because
Right. Well, and it's just it is always funny to me, like, watching the current season and then, like, a few episodes into the current season, watching they have a whole episode where they're talking about filming the reunion for the previous episode, like, this is
yes.
messy. I think it's because 'cause we're just so used to the structure as well of, like, Real Housewives shows and stuff like
Mhm.
that where, like, there's, like even if it's a short break in filming, there is, like, a break in filming, and they are, like, talking about last year in New York,
Mhm.
when you did this.
They love
Um,
saying that.
yeah, I think they do love saying they love making sure we knew they filmed the reunion in New York City. Um, and they had to
Even though
travel, but
sometimes it's a studio set in Jersey, but
yeah.
just
Um
saying, just saying.
There you go. But yeah, obviously Hulu suspended filming, and then ABC, once the video came out, and that's the funny thing to me is the fact that, like, ABC, like, y'all didn't do anything over the recent, like, physical altercation or whatnot, but, like, once this video from a physical altercation that y'all knew about that happened 3 years ago comes out and goes viral, now
Right?
we're canceling the season. But,
Like,
yeah,
the
ABC.
details were in the case, it's not anything
Yeah.
new.
Yeah, yeah. But ABC, they put out a statement saying that they're not gonna air this season and and basically their statement was kind of like, "We're choosing not to end the season at this time, we wanna focus on supporting the family," which I guess they mean, like, Taylor, Dakota, and their children. Um, and
Hmm.
then Taylor's team kinda put out a statement. What's funny to me is, when it comes to Taylor's statement is people said that they don't think that her actual legal representative put it out because they said, A, it sounds very ChatGPT, like she popped that shit into the like she popped a prompt in, but also they put that, like, multiple times in the statement, she describes Dakota as jealous of her success
Mhm.
and
Which
whatnot, which
is
is probably
weird.
not something that, like, a lawyer would put or a PR person would put, but
I've seen similar kind of statements, which when I initially saw that, I was like, "Oh, this is, interesting."
right?
I mean, I figured that would be the overall, like, approach or tone of it, but
Yeah.
I don't
When I
know.
feel like that's kind of been Taylor's response in general, and her team's response is basically, and also her fans, but has been very much like Dakota's trying to ruin her moment, like this is all sabotage and everything, which I mean, that could be true. I mean, there's a lot of things that could be true at once here. Uh, like you could be crazy for throwing those chairs, but he could also be trying to sabotage your moment. Yeah.
Right? Especially, like, near the child, which I think was a big
Yeah.
thing that a lot of people focused on,
Oh,
and
yeah.
at the end of that clip, we do
Yeah.
hear Evertrue, I believe, crying, which, is
Um,
very concerning.
well, no, I think in the clip it was her daughter, whose name I
Oh,
don't know, that was with her first husband.
gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, because at the time of the video, that was before she got pregnant with True. So
But yeah, no, she got pregnant on the show, you're right.
that's the crazy thing is, like, at this time, her and Dakota like, they had just started, like, hanging out and stuff. Like, they
Mhm.
didn't even, like, have a child together. Like, and this kind of stuff was happening. I'm like, damn, this was early on in the dynamic.
I know, then her ex-husband, who barely associates himself with the show and all of this, this
Yeah.
circus as a whole is probably
Yeah.
like, "Damn it, now everyone kinda sees that." Which has been reported that they were seen talking at the courthouse, communicating, and I think most recently reported that Taylor Frankie Paul has indeed lost custody, at least temporarily, so things are moving on the court legal side as well, but I think the actions were pretty damning, so
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. And yeah, I don't know. It's just I guess when it comes to ABC and Hulu, I was honestly so Hulu not so much because I mean it was like in the middle of filming and whatnot, so they can kind of pause things, take a breather.
yeah.
ABC, I was really surprised actually. Like when the video came out, like I knew it was gonna be bad, but I did not think that by the end of the business day, ABC would have canceled the whole damn thing. Like I really didn't think so. I thought
Mhm.
maybe at worst they would like delay it, like the premiere or something. Um I was actually surprised. I was really surprised.
I don't think I was surprised at that point. I knew a lot of people were calling for it because pretty much like from the time the video went out, people were calling from it from the time that Mormon Wives had paused filming and all of that news was coming out. And I was
Mhm.
like, "Hmm." And I'm sure conversations were happening as early as then. And I think with Cinnabon pulling out one advertiser, it's like, okay. But to bring
Yeah.
up the Whitney Willevett quote again, what brands are gonna wanna support people throwing chairs?
And getting
Have
her
their brand be associated with that in this show, and probably was negative. A lot of advertisers probably were reaching out and then
yeah,
question like, would it even be worth it to run this show?
right. One
Because I'm sure at the bottom line it was money. Because if it was profitable to run the show, or if it will be, they might put it out eventually. But also
right.
Disney, it's like in the grand scheme of the P&L of an organization, a behemoth like Disney,
Mhm.
it is like, a blip. Because they say it's like about, 2 million per episode to produce The Bachelor.
Yeah.
It's like 20 to 25 million, which, is a okay loss. So there's also like, the advertising loss, et cetera. But
But yeah, 'cause
they
I s
could easily just go away with it. But I mean,
yeah,
I would like to see it, but I'm messy. I still want to see I Love Money 3. So
yeah. Well, that's the thing is I saw somebody post, Megan Wants a Millionaire, I Love Money 3, and season 22 of The Bachelorette is the I think they said it's like the forbidden binge. Uh,
truly the reality television lost media of it all. I mean,
uh,
I'm sure there's some more like crazy shows from the 2000s that got scrapped midway and have never
yeah.
seen the light of day.
Well,
I also know VH1 Sorority Sisters, the Divine Nine reality show, has never seen the
yeah,
light of day after being scrapped. So,
yeah. Well,
but these are the major ones.
I've seen a few articles out there that are detailing that, like, for ABC, that allegedly between production costs, loss in advertising revenue and things like that, that, like, it's a projected, like, 40 to $50 million loss on this season, not b like, basically not airing, which I don't know if that's true or not. That's just, like, some projected numbers I've seen, and what
It
I've all
sounds about right.
yeah, like, I mean, yeah, because I saw somewhere that they were saying that, like, each episode of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, like, each episode apparently costs, like, $2 million to produce.
Some
Um,
expensive ass dates.
yeah,
And I'm
it's an
sure all that
expense
lighting, rigging, production teams.
yeah. Well, I mean, they, like, film in nice places, they do nice things, like, it
Yeah,
really like, they really do not skimp from what I've seen, and it actually kinda shocks me in the world where, like that we're in now, where, like, pretty much every reality TV budget is getting slashed. It kinda surprises me that this show is still even around because I feel like it's
right?
not that relevant culturally anymore, like, I feel like that not that many people watch or care about it.
I think it has its core fan base who really,
Yeah.
really, really care. 'Cause I don't
Yeah, I
know.
guess.
I've
Like,
definitely been around some people who still watch it, had bachelor nights. I see it posted on my Instagram story.
okay, so
It's
it's
definitely died down a little bit. I think there was, like, a hype period and,
yeah.
a bit of a resurgence. I think it definitely has been more culturally relevant, and they definitely had to cast Taylor Frankie Paul from another show outside of there. Because
Yeah.
they're very, like, bachelor family, bachelor nation, so
Yeah.
having the cast outside of that, I think, showed
Yeah,
was
one
struggling a bit. They needed a bit of a bump.
yeah, and that was something I didn't know was that she was the very first Bachelorette to not
Mhm.
originally be from The Bachelor. I didn't realize that they exclusively pulled girls from that show for this show, but I mean, it makes sense, I guess.
Mhm.
It makes probably casting a lot easier.
For sure, and then, you can kind of have them build in a fan base, have
Yeah,
people excited to see them get their own dating show,
yeah,
which Flavor of Love kinda did this model. We saw New York get her own show. We saw Chance and Rio get their show
yeah,
from being on New York show. But, yeah, primarily that's how they've done The Bachelor, Bachelorette. And that's how people are always like, "Oh, this person might lose and be the next one if they have a good personality." So it's also something like fans will speculate on and maybe get even excited about,
that's
which
true.
makes sense, yeah. But they
Creates
had
an
a whole
engagement.
incremental audience because I was definitely gonna be watching for the first time
I know,
if
that's
the Taylor was premiering, which I've seen, like, a few episodes of Juan Pablo's Bachelor season, very random season. I checked on Reddit briefly to see how that season is perceived, to see if I got a good, vibe, and apparently it was not. Apparently he's, like, one of the worst, so I could give it another shot. I just remember being very bored,
yeah, no,
and
I
it's like 2 episodes a week and just dates, and I'm just like, "Damn, this is boring."
yeah. Yeah, my mom used to watch The Bachelor and The Bachelorette and everything, so, I've seen bits and pieces, like, the most memorable stuff I remember is, like this was, like, years ago, that fricking girl, Courtney or whatever her name was, that was, like, the villain on her season. Because I guess normally on The Bachelor and whatnot, normally they don't really have, like, a villain, so to speak, like,
Yeah,
there's not really that, like,
it's
huge
very
per like
network television.
yeah, it's a little bit more they keep it a little bit more cute, but I guess this girl just people hated her. Like, people hated this girl, and she ended up winning, which really pissed people off.
Oh, damn.
Uh, But, yeah, so that's all I remember, and it's funny because we've, like, said on this podcast so many times, we've talked so much about how, like, we are never gonna watch The Bachelor, fuck The Bachelor,
We
we don't care about the
did,
boring-ass Bachelor, and we were so prepared to, like, eat crow with this episode and, like,
right? Guess we
cover
don't
the
have to.
yeah, we were gonna cover the premiere and be like, "You know, the power of Mormonism forced our hands." Uh, Mormon reality TV, you know, it's a
Right?
powerful thing. And we were even like kind of like, oh, should we like play clips of like should we play clips of ourselves like saying we're not gonna talk about The Bachelor?
We
Um,
definitely said it out in episode 1.
yeah,
I'm very positive.
yeah, I feel like we did. We definitely said it multiple times. And yeah, I mean we were gonna do it, but Taylor Frankie Paul just couldn't let us be great. I don't know. like,
Right? And unless there's like a disgruntled ABC Disney exec that's gonna leak it on Daily Motion, this will never see the light of day. But I'm
I
sure also like they probably edit and do things in post as they go. So I'm sure most of it is raw footage. Like maybe the first 2 or 3 episodes are like fully
done.
done, packaged, and polished.
Yeah,
But beyond that, I'm not fully 100% versed on how these things work in Hollywood, but
yeah.
I'm
I mean,
sure. And that's
I
another thing. There's probably so many people like out of work because of this, which is
right,
upsetting. The
right,
guys, it's like, give or take. Which
right.
the men did do a little thing with EW, Entertainment Weekly. Did you see that?
I did not. So I've seen like I saw like I saw like an anonymous thing from one of the men, like where they basically
Mhm.
were saying this is bullshit. Like
Yeah.
I spent money to be on this show. Like this is not cool. And I saw a shady thing about how like somewhere out there right now a group of male influencers just lost the bet.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, that's a lot of BetterHelp and Row deals that are not gonna come to fruition. Like,
Yeah. When I saw something which is this always confused because I've always been under the assumption that like if you're on a reality show, whether it's Cup of Char, I was always under the assumption like everyone gets a stipend or whatever. But I was reading somewhere that allegedly the men on the Bachelorette competing do not get paid anything. That's
wow,
what I
they need a union.
yeah I was
Reality
reading it.
TV stars need a union.
Yeah,
That
I was reading they don't get paid, and that actually the average cost of, like, how much they spend, like, to prepare for the show because they don't get wardrobe
mhm.
or anything, they have to buy all their own clothes, they have to travel, they have to take time off work, that it can be upwards of, like, a $10,000 loss to appear on the show, like,
That's
financially.
what I've heard regarding The Bachelor and Bachelorette, because you have to bring all those outfits in preparation, you wanna be
Mhm.
ready for TV, you're
Yeah.
taking time off work, you're paying rent and bills, and then sometimes you go home the first night and it's like, "Oh, wow."
Yeah,
And you're
right?
probably not gonna get that many followers or anything out of it, so
Right.
kind of like the risk you took, but no, it's
Yeah.
definitely concerning. At least the guys just have to get, a few suits tailored or something. I don't know about the woman. You gotta show up with, like, potentially, like, 12, 13 dresses, and then bring all them suitcases,
Gotta up your lip filler before you go.
right? You gotta do all the things.
Right? I mean, it's like those drag race queens, they have to like, they get all the runways ahead of the season, they pay their seamstresses and tailors and stuff and costume designers to make all these outfits, and they might go home episode 1.
Well, at least they have a purpose to use those outfits going forward in their careers.
That's true, they can still use them, they can still
I
use
mean, I
them.
guess these guys could use these suits,
Yeah.
on interviews in their careers.
Right,
And the girls, hopefully they got invited to some weddings over the next few years. Like, they got something in the back of the closet for that.
right,
But
they go, a little gown.
and I would definitely be telling everyone, well, I was gonna wear this on The Bachelorette if they didn't send me home the first motherfucking night.
I would because I've seen some drag race queens who, like, got eliminated. I see some of them where they, like, afterwards throughout the season, like, each week when the episode airs, they post on social media like, "Oh, this is what I was gonna wear for this runway. This is what I was gonna wear for
Ooh.
this challenge." And if I if I were one of these guys, I'd be posting like, "Well, this is the suit I was gonna wear for the 7th, rose ceremony. This is the suit I was gonna wear for the episode 10 rose ceremony. This is the suit I was gonna wear for the finale."
I'm sure some of them can do, "This is the suit I wore in episode 1. This is the suit I wore at the
That's true, yeah.
finale." 'Cause,
Well, yeah, and
you know
I wonder, like, with the season being canned too, like, as far as the NDAs, like, what does that do for the NDAs? I mean, like, are they allowed to ever reveal, like, elimination order, who won, what happened?
Right? I'm curious if they're, like, still forever bound to that, if it will ever be released. But I
Yeah,
do know this season was heavily spoiled. I think a lot of Bachelor seasons are.
yeah,
Because I remember seeing TikToks about, like, I didn't see the spoilers themselves, but I saw a
mhm,
lot of content about spoilers being out and having to dodge them. I
yeah,
wasn't necessarily looking for them, but I know Bachelor Nation kind of has like a feigned spoiler account, spoiler source that kind of always, drops tea on the seasons. Kind of will give you the final three earlier on if that's what you look
Yeah.
for. I know I've definitely been there with Survivor and the challenge. Like the challenge, like they definitely have like a pink rose of the challenge who knows all the challenge tea, at least
Yeah.
all their spoilers and information. There's definitely like a bachelor version of that. And I don't know, spoiler alert, but there was somebody who was reportedly the winner named Doug. And he's kind of being the one who's most supportive of Taylor and saying, it's her moment that got taken away, which, it's good that he's focused on her, but I think that's also clear that he has some care for her and it's probably maybe they are in a relationship. I don't
I
know.
I don't know, I'm very confused. When I also saw something, I don't that apparently, like, and I don't know if this is true either because ABC, at least so far, has been very, like, kind and supportive towards Taylor and, like,
Mhm.
how they packaged and messaged this. Um, but I have seen reports that, like, allegedly, like, they're looking into, like, going after her for breach of contract or whatever, like, legally, because
I'm
of
sure she did breach a contract.
well, yeah, because, like, well, because I know, like, we've kind of seen the trailers for like, in the previews and by the way, I have not watched, like, all of The Secret Lives of More Lives this new season yet, I've only seen the first episode. Um, but in the little season preview or whatever, it looked like she was gonna, like, hook up with Dakota right before she goes to film The Bachelorette. And apparently and also the fact that she's kind of been, like, with Dakota romantically and linked to him since filming ended for The Bachelorette. Um, because my understanding of how that works is, like, you have to, like at least until the finale airs and everything, like, you have to really sell that you are, like, in a relation or, like, that you're not in a relationship with somebody else outside of the show. Um, so I have seen those rumors about breach of contract and that she could allegedly get in trouble with Hulu or not Hulu, I mean, she could get in trouble with Hulu too, but ABC.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna spoil it for you. Just know there's another love interest that gets thrown into the mix before
Well,
she leaves for the Bachelorette. So
I saw in the first episode of the season, I saw her pick up that guy at the
yeah, that
airport.
is the end of that episode.
I was like,
So
"This is weird." I was like, "Why who is this man you're picking up at the airport?"
you will see more in the next episode. They will devolve more about that man. But Taylor's a mess. And on top of that, I think there's definitely like a bunch of legalese about morality clauses and all that.
Mhm.
Probably just
Yeah.
know from my loose knowledge of, every reality TV interview I've seen, them contracts
I mean,
lengthy,
they
big,
and I mean
tough,
and yeah, and I mean, they can put damn near anything they want in those contracts.
right? And Taylor signed it. I mean, I'm sure she at least has an entertainment lawyer now,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but
that season
I don't
one contract, I'm sure she just signed.
yeah, I think my thing with the whole thing with ABC especially is I feel like it's like y'all knew exactly what you were getting with this girl. Like, y'all knew exactly what you were getting.
Dakota and all,
Yeah, and 'cause, like, and like, I saw somebody say, the status of dating now that there are 20 men or whatever competing for, a single mother of 3 with multiple baby daddies and an arrest record. Uh, but, I think it's just like, I don't know, my thing is just like and especially, like, before filming, obviously, they knew about this assault that we saw in the video, like, they knew about that, and they still chose to go forward with her. They didn't cancel the show when the season when these new assault allegations came out. Like, it literally only happened once this damn video went viral and everyone got mad. Um,
right?
which I mean, I get it. I think a lot of times when it comes to people, like, I feel like people just they have to kind of see it to really get pissed about it, like just hearing about it isn't enough. Um,
Right? It's also like a police report can definitely simplify things.
right,
Somebody threw a chair can be and they could throw it across the room, not towards you or their baby, but
right,
somebody throwing 3 bar stools in quick succession near, a sleeping child
right. Well, because I mean, you
is a
look
little
at
different
I'll say
than
because you look,
Hillary Clinton's alleged, angry throw, probably not towards somebody's direction.
yeah,
2 different same term chair throw,
yeah.
a little different.
I mean, you look at, with Dance Moms when Abby threw the chair and everything and how it got turned into a lawsuit and because I mean, she didn't throw the chair at Paige, like, she
Yeah.
threw it in the room with her, but, like, it's still considered child endangerment, even if you
Yeah.
didn't target the kid. Um, I know, and the craziest
That's a
thing
good comparison.
yeah, I think it's like it's still child endangerment, it can still get you in trouble, Um, because 'cause you're doing the most. Um But yeah, like, I don't know. I just to me, I And I kind of in general, I don't really like it when these networks and these institutions and these places, when they try to kind of play this moral, like not moral, moral high ground thing, of being like, this doesn't align with our values. It's like, well, it aligned with your values when you cast it before it became a controversy. Like,
Right?
it's like, like they even said in their statement, in light of like this video, we'll be basically suspending the season. And it's just like, I don't know. It's like the same thing as like when the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, like, when they kept Jen Shaw on as long as they
Mm,
possibly could, like, even though it was so obvious she was guilty, it was so like, it was just, like, it was obvious that it's like, y'all are casting someone with poor moral character. Um, you know what I'm saying? Like, they kept her on for as long as
yeah,
they
they knew
possibly
what it
could, and
was.
they stretched it out as long as they could, and then they fired her and, like, disinvited her to BravoCon and stuff, and they were like, "We" like, basically, "We're better than this," and it's like, "No, you're not."
Right? Just listening to a legal department or a PR department when things get dicey, but
Yeah.
I think they know they're flying too close to the sun because,
Yeah.
clearly the Bachelorette franchise is dying. You can use this cross promotion, which
Yeah.
that is so huge on Hulu. They're trying to create this, definitely they're trying to create this reality verse. Because just like last few seasons, they kind of try to cross promote Vanderpump Villa. This season, just it's not really a spoiler. Alex Cooper's weak ass dating show, Alex Cooper's Love Boat or whatever. I've been seeing people like mention it and talk about it, but
She's
no details on what the show is. I think it's like a ripoff of Love Island, but
she's the Call Me Daddy girl, right?
I believe so, yes. That's her
Okay.
name.
And honestly, yeah,
Which
she
she gets
looks
mentioned a lot this season as well, so I think that's the one they're trying to cross promote.
yeah.
But, they're definitely trying to rival Bravo and how there's the Bravoverse
Mhm.
and bring everything under one. I think them trying to tie The Bachelorette and the Mormon Wives fandom was smart, but I do think they are kind
Well,
of different incremental audience. Like, one show was much messier than the other. It has established.
right.
It's also newer, it's more digitally driven, like, it's not as, formulaic. Like, The
Yeah.
Bachelor, Bachelorette is one of the most formulaic, established
It's
reality
legacy
franchises, like,
reality
in the
TV.
game right now. Like, people know what they're getting, the fans love it, ABC knows
Yeah.
what they're doing. It was a
Well,
weird mix to begin with, and it's kinda what they get.
yeah,
I don't know. They could have easily given Taylor, like, her own dating show, not The Bachelorette. Like,
right.
I don't know. I still wanna watch that.
Yeah. I would have, yeah. I think though, yeah, they definitely have tried to create their little Huluverse, and Dakota Dunn came in and Thanos snapped that shit and said, "Nope."
I mean, so we think, so we think.
So we think, yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I do think at this point it's final. I think they pulled the show. We're never gonna see it. I would be shocked at this point if somehow it did still come out. I mean, maybe things can happen, but
Yeah.
I think it's shelved.
It's shelved. Because I mostly think it's because I don't think the whole season is edited. I don't think they do all of that, like, that
Right.
much ahead of time. Because they
Yeah.
definitely probably wanna adjust things on the fly based off, like, audience's receptions if something
Mhm.
happens, so
Yeah.
they can at least tease us with the premiere or something. Or I do wonder what would come out about, like, what transpired over the season, if the guys will do tell-alls, like, what you
Right.
said about the NDA.
Yeah.
Like, will we eventually get more details? Will they start talking?
I
Or is it
think
just, like, forbidden? I mean, people eventually talked about I Love Money 3, but that was, like, 10 years after the fact. And
right.
VH1 versus ABC, so
Right, and that's the thing is I don't know for sure how much the season getting shelved and not airing, how much that impacts NDAs. Like, I don't know if it changes the term. It probably doesn't, I would imagine. I'm sure there's probably, like,
mhm.
there's probably some kind of verbiage in there, like, in your NDA about how, like, I don't know,
Yeah,
for whatever
regardless of
reason.
the if the program airs or not, like, something.
Right. It's like, yeah, I'm sure there's something in there protecting them. So I think at the end of the day, if we want the tea, we're gonna have to wait who knows how many years for it because I think those CBS NDAs, I think they're long. Like
They
it,
be
it
long as
they last a while.
Yeah,
Like,
at least 7 years.
yeah. So I mean that's the thing. It's like, are we even gonna care by the time this tea comes out? Probably not.
Probably not. But, no, a few questions arising from that. Do we think I guess each franchise individually, The Bachelor, Bachelorette, and then The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, do we think these franchises are surviving?
Um, I don't know. It's hard. The Bachelorette, especially, it's hard to say because, like you mentioned, the show's already kind of a dying show as
Yeah.
is. Like, it's very much, like, on its verge of, like, "Oh, yell or take it out in the back," you know? Like, I don't
Yes.
know. Like, people just it's like, they have their loyal fan base, but that's I feel like a loyal fan base is some especially with a show this high budget, is not necessarily enough. Like, I think when you have, like, something that's more low budget, straight to streaming, like House of Villains, they can survive off of, like, just having a
Mhm,
loyal fan base of people that are gonna watch every season, um, and engage with it, but I don't know. The
mhm,
Bachelor and The Bachelorette the thing is, I feel like I feel like Bachelor Nation has enough shows and spinoffs and things that they could shelve The Bachelorette for a year or 2 and keep the other kind of things going. So,
mhm,
do I think The Bachelorette might go down in all of this, at least temporarily? Yeah, it's possible, but I don't think Bachelor Nation as a whole is gonna go down from this quite yet. It's definitely not good. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, I think that will eventually pick up filming with or without Taylor. It just depends. I personally believe that the women refusing to film with her is less about like a moral thing and more about a power move. I think that on that show, it's obviously been Taylor's show. She has a lot of pull. And you see that in the way that the girls don't really go after her in the way they might go after like a Whitney or a Demi. Because there's been plenty of opportunities where it's like, oh, this could be a Taylor takedown season, similar to
mhm.
like what we see on Housewives, and the girls don't go for it because I think they're scared of her. And the fact that she has pull, I really do, I believe that. So I feel like for them, this was the opportunity to be like, "Oh, let's push the bitch out." Um, like
Really?
I really think that the girls refusing to film with her is more of like a power move than a business move. I really do.
Yeah. I would say it's definitely a business move, but I feel like if they wanted to do a Taylor takedown, they, like, coulda. There was enough ammunition.
I
I
guess.
just don't think enough of them have, like, the energy, and
Yeah.
Whitney is too busy. So, who's
Right.
gonna do it, Jen?
I guess that's the thing.
Macy?
It's kind
Michaela?
of like it's kind of like you might have valid points for an argument with Dorinda, but do you really want to like step into that and deal with that?
That's fair. And I think with Bachelor and Bachelorette, what's working for them is the format. Because you could easily take one of the guys from this unaired season, make him the next Bachelor, and
And
just
build
keep
some
it
hype.
going from there.
Yeah.
And then air it as like, oh, redemption season. He didn't get his moment. It was taken
Yeah.
away from him and kind of build some sympathy through that. And I
Right.
definitely think they could easily bounce back. I'm actually not so sure about Secret Lives and Mormon Lives. A Taylor-less Secret Lives of Mormon Wives sounds boring, especially if
Yeah.
Whitney's just gonna be working the whole time. Because Whitney obviously thinks she's above it and is trying to move beyond the show. So let's say Whitney achieves her dreams, a Whitney-less and a Taylor-less Secret Lives of
That's
Mormon
true.
Wives.
I
What
think
are we watching?
I think they'll at
Macy
least
go to
try I think they'll
appointments?
at least try it, though. I think they'll at least try it.
They'll try it. They'll try it. And maybe Shania will step up. Maybe Layla will do more.
Yeah. I mean, I
Maybe the
could
producers
also
will.
yeah, I could
Or we'll
also
probably get more dad talk. But
well, yeah, because 'cause I'm not sure how much of season 5 they've filmed, like, how far into filming they are,
that's
but
true.
I could see them, like, picking back up cameras, filming the remainder of the season without Taylor, and then bringing her back next season after some of the heat has died down a little bit. Like, I could see them
That's true.
doing something like that too.
Because the show structure is more like following all of these women, less so like we need all these group scenes. So if Taylor's literally just like off somewhere, they could
Yeah.
definitely film it and add it in. Similarly,
Yeah.
because I'm assuming this season, in season 5, Whitney's in New York the whole time because she's on Broadway.
Yeah. That's like yeah, no, that's like, I think Whitney's in New York. I think Jen and maybe even a few of the other girls are still, like, in LA and everything like that. So, it's definitely not central to Utah in the slightest.
No, we're just, at this point, it's just we're following these girls. It still is their secret lives, but yeah, my thing is I don't think the cast is strong enough without Taylor and Whitney. I definitely think Whitney is strong enough, but I think Whitney's too busy and her aspirations go beyond being on the
Right.
show for 5 years. I see her primary goal as, being a candy bar on RHOA. She definitely wants to
Yeah.
leave them
Whit
girls in the dust and be shady about it in interviews 5 years later.
right. Well, yeah, no, I think Whitney hates doing the show, to be honest, but I think she understands like, she really does, but I think she understands, like, what the opportunity is and how she I think Whitney is honestly I think Whitney and Jessie are, like, the 2 that are making the most out of this opportunity. I feel like
For
Taylor is,
sure.
like, the one squandering it.
Right? And the rest of them are like, they're doing like Macy made sure to get that book. Like, who really wants a Macy Neely memoir?
Right.
But
Uh,
she got it done. She's doing the book tour. I think the
yeah.
rest of them are getting at it. But Jesse and Whitney, very, very smart.
Yeah, I feel like the other girls are kind of like they're grabbing,
They're
like
also young too.
yeah,
Like,
they're grabbing, like, the quick coins here and
yeah,
there, you know? They're kind of like, "Oh, let's do it," but I feel like they're not necessarily setting the bricks down for the future like
yeah.
Jessie and Whitney are.
Which maybe now they're like, "Oh, this show might not last forever." But I'm sure
Yeah.
it's also hard, like, they blinked, like, I blinked and they're filming season 5, you know?
Yeah.
Like, the show premiered in 2024.
Yeah,
Like,
right,
it's
it's
kind of like
insane.
September 2024.
Yeah, that's the thing, it's less than 2 years and we're already filming season 5. It's just
Yeah,
it's an insane schedule, but I guess Hulu saw I mean, like, it's I mean, the thing is, like, this show gets great social media engagement, you see it
it
everywhere.
does. I just hope that the girls at least banded together, demanded some money. I don't know if they Jersey Shored it, or they all like, "We all want the same money." I don't think Whitney would have went for that, but I hope they at least get into the bag. I at least hope they at least got to, increase as the seasons went on.
Right.
They certainly deserve it.
They do, but then, yeah, they've given up a lot for this mess. Um, well, do we wanna get into just kind of, like, the public reaction to this whole mess? Because it's been divided, interesting, crazy. I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of think pieces on YouTube coming out.
Lots of think pieces. All of
Yeah,
our favorite peers, fellow
yeah,
cultural commentators, podcasters, TikTokers are definitely giving their piece, and I agree with that. There's not much I bet there's not much unique to say anymore, but
yeah. Yeah, but we might as well get into it. I feel like there's definitely the reaction is very split in terms of like the whole Taylor and Dakota of it all. Like I literally see on social media Team Taylor, Team Dakota, like this isn't like a domestic dispute situation.
yeah,
Uh, but I mean people are going there. People are very much making it one versus the other. And I don't know. I feel like it's more nuanced than that, obviously, like, I don't know, I feel like people whenever, like, shit like this kinda comes to the public and everything, people always have to make it, like, one person is 100% wrong and one person is 100% right, and that's just not the situation I think we find ourselves in here.
yeah. No, agreed. I think the domestic violence of it all is, definitely adds a layer that's, deeper and, like, very traumatic and triggering for a lot of people.
Mhm.
But I think the frank of the matter is these people do not need to be together. I think they both have demonstrated abusive behaviors.
Yeah.
And truthfully, my concern with I don't know these children, but this is the general welfare of children
Yeah.
in general. So just make sure
Yeah.
these children are best set up and have the best support systems. And
Yeah.
if they're with Leanne, if they're with Dakota, if they're with Taylor's ex husband, there's protocol there because definitely not the most concerning environment. Taylor, I want her to figure it out because I want to root for her. Like she's rootable. Like she shared so much of her life so short. And I've, such a short time. I think it's become such a prolific reality star.
Mhm.
So I do want to see I want to see her come out on the other side of this. But
Yeah.
you need to learn, girl. Like similar to
Right.
Karen Huger, it's like
Yeah.
let's take a step back. Maybe
Right.
Taylor, maybe Taylor and Karen Huger can have a talk. That might violate both their network agreements, but
God.
Karen love to give advice,
Ka
and
Karen
Taylor
Karen
got some
loves to
mommy
help
issues.
yeah, Karen loves to help the young girls. Uh, um, yeah, and I don't it's just I see a lot of discussion. My problem is, like, a lot of the people that I see defending Taylor are defending her in a way that I think is, like, a little ridiculous in the sense that, like, they want to, like, eliminate any accountability and kind of be like, "Oh" like, a big one I see is people talking about, like, reactive abuse and
Hmm.
how, like, "Oh, he definitely provoked and pushed her before recording this incident," which, I mean, he probably did. Let's be honest, he probably did. There's
Yeah.
probably a lot that we didn't see leading up to this. This is kinda like the climax and the peak of the escalation of the fight, and we didn't see what led up to it. But at the same time, it's like, you fucked up. Like, you
Yeah.
assaulted someone, you threw chairs across the room, one of them ended up hitting your kid, like, it's just like there I think that you can defend this person, kinda like I mean, like you just did. I mean, that's what they should be doing. That,
Yeah.
like, kinda just be like, "Yeah, she fucked up, but I wanna root for her, and I hope the best for her."
Mhm. And I think, one time is a mistake, but I think, like, showing repeated behaviors is harder to
Yeah,
defend. And, like, Dakota is very hard to defend in general, which I think makes
yeah,
it complicated, but I think
yeah,
I don't know. I've definitely seen some Taylor supporters. I think there's more, like, a lot of people are like, "You're making me defend a man." I've seen a lot of TikToks that lead with that.
Like, you're pissing me off. Well, yeah, because I mean, like, who wants to defend Dakota? He's awful. Like, he's literally
Right?
awful. Um, and that's the thing is I feel like multiple things can be true at the same time. Like, he can be a victim of an assault and as a form of abuse and whatnot, while also being an abuser himself because he
Yeah.
definitely like, I mean, we've seen it on TV, the emotional abuse.
Right, and just the bullshit. I'm probably definitely trying to ruin her moment. But the fact that
Yeah.
this video just came out is,
Yeah.
very strategic, and people are
Right.
definitely pointing and referencing that, which I'm like, yeah, to get her show, I mean, it probably
Yeah.
should have happened in the first place, but you had this video the whole time and it's just
Yeah.
getting out now?
Right,
Or did
3
it
years
get out from the
later.
police? Like, who leaked it? That's what I wanna know. Maybe we'll find out on season 5.
Right. Now that's gonna be the big gag is who leaked the video, and somehow they're gonna find a way to blame Whitney or Demi,
Hey, what? Meanwhile, she's in Chicago working on her 2 stuff. She's
and
in New York
Demi's
doing
doing Fruity
Chicago.
Pebbles with her husband.
Ooh, oh my lord. Wow.
Yeah, I have seen I feel like when it comes to the public reactions, I feel like the social media comment like, just, like, the general comments from the social media people, that's where I've seen a lot of the toxicity and a lot of the bullshit, to be honest.
Mhm,
But when it comes to, like we mentioned earlier, like, the think pieces, the videos that people are posting and stuff, I feel like those have actually been really well done. I feel like I've seen a lot of nuance in those. I've seen a lot of just, like, fairness and how they're kinda covering it. So,
mhm,
I've been really impressed with that coverage. I feel like there's been a lot of sensitivity, to, like, the topic,
mhm.
probably a little bit more sensitivity than I'm offering today, but that's just
And
not me.
I think we've been fair. I
Yeah,
think we spoke to it well. You've
yeah.
definitely been more insane. You've definitely been more insane.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like if you wanna hear some unhinged stuff, go back to before the video podcast. We were saying some things.
You mean 2 weeks? You mean 2 weeks?
Just like Wendy Williams, we got sanitized for air to be on television.
Well, yes. Well,
They
yes.
smoothed us out. They smoothed us out,
Ooh, and we're hoping with our smooth skin, we can get some skincare deals. What's
right?
good, Susan Yara? But
Oh, you know what the thing with her though is like, did do you remember the drama with her?
no, I
With
just know
Natur
Notorium.
I think, yeah, with Naturium because that's her brand, but she was promoting it, like, when it was first coming out without disclosing that it was her brand.
Oh, I did not know that.
That was
She was
messy.
doing founders content and lying about it.
That thing,
That's
yeah, she
crazy.
was, like, promoting it, like, leading up to it and everything, and then, like, was like, "Surprise, I'm the founder," and people were like,
Hmm. Actually, I think, I can see where the idea kinda take place, like, "Oh, this will be a fun gag, very YouTube-ish," but the audience probably felt deceived.
"Yeah,
But
I
it's
don't."
funny now in the name of the marketing game, that's, like, par for the course. These celebrity founders being in front of the camera,
Yeah,
these people the CEOs or whatever just being on it, like, "This is why I did the brand. This is why you should buy it."
yeah, but,
It's fine. But,
back
I feel like a lot of the "I told you so" opinions are funny to me too, because it's
yeah,
like, what did who expect? Like, with
right,
the Taylor Dakota mess of it all. Which makes me like,
right.
did they want Dakota to storm in on finale day? Did he storm in on finale day? That's what I really wanna know is, like, was Dakota involved at any point? Like, at this point, Imma look up the sport.
I hope not, I hope not. But that's my thing is I just feel like in all of this, whether it's Hulu, ABC, the brands, like, anyone who's been involved with Taylor in this mess, my thing is I feel like all of these brands, these networks, these people, they want to employ these controversial figures to benefit from it. They want the controversy, they want, the craziness, they wanna bring in the views and engagement from it. But then, like, the second, shit gets a little too hot, they wanna pull back. And it's annoying, it's annoying because, like I mentioned earlier, I just hate the moral superiority of it all, of, like, people acting like or, like, these networks acting like they have some, like, level of moral decency, when it's like, you brought her in the first place. I don't know. It's silly to me, and it's different if, like, say you employ someone and then something comes out about them that was not public knowledge that nobody knew about, like, I don't know, like, some racist emails they sent came out or some shenanigans they did came out, and then, like, you're like, "Oh, no, we wanna separate from them." That's perfectly acceptable to me because that's like, okay, like, obviously, you don't want that as assigned with your brand. You didn't know this was a thing when you brought them
Mhm,
on. But with stuff with I mean, with Taylor, she's such an open book, um, that, like, all of her mess is out there, so I feel like if any brands that choose to partner with her, any networks that choose to employ her, at the end of the day, like, you got no one to blame but yourself. You gotta blame the bitch in the mirror.
Which right, I think initially because the arrest was so part of her introduction to the world, and be kind of like not that she fully sanitized it, but we see her kind of like coming to terms with it in season one. Maybe that made her more brand safe. But now it's given repeated behaviors, and also there's a lot of follow the leader in
Yeah.
the corporate world, business world. One
Yeah.
brand do it, everyone's like, oh no, maybe we should. No, we're the last brand doing it. So it's also like the crumbling of the tower of it all.
Yeah.
Which I'm
Right.
also wondering if, like, they knew she was so involved with Dakota. They're filming Mormon Wives, so obviously they can probably I don't know how
Right.
much these productions probably talk. Maybe there's no
Right.
overlap, but there had to be some strong conviction that the Dakota of it all was underlying. Which makes me
Right.
like, well, y'all just I mean, it's the Bachelor, Bachelorette. Maybe all the guys know it's fake, but
Yeah.
for it to be that thing, we're not even like a glimmer of a chance of
Right.
a real engagement is like,
Well, at
yeah.
least
Which
I mean,
leads to that one anonymous guy who was like, "Oh, this is a waste of time. I feel
yeah.
betrayed. I kind
Mhm.
of this was set up with bad intentions."
Yeah.
Which he seemed to be one of the only more negatively toned ones. Which I wonder if he like made it further and got invested. For the most part, a lot of them, I don't know, trying to keep it cute. Maybe they can get invited back,
Yeah.
but they're like
Right.
thankful for the opportunity. We're doing okay. It's unfortunate that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Production kind of played in their face. I wonder if these boys still get their payment or anything, or I don't know.
Well,
A Keurig.
we were
Send
saying
these boys a
earlier, we've heard
Keurig
that
at
they don't get
least.
paid.
Oh, yeah, in general, damn. Can they at least send them some ties? Like, I don't know.
Something. Something. Like a little something, maybe a little
But
merchandise?
maybe they can film a special just talking about
Right. Not all the men there without Taylor just talking about what happened.
it. I mean, they gotta fill this airtime, this 2-hour slot every Sunday. From what I heard, they're re-airing American Idol, which who cares about American Idol?
Right,
But
that's why I saw it too. I was like, "Not a rerun of American Idol."
maybe they'll figure out what to put in this slot or what to do, but 2 hours is also, like, a lot of program. You can't just be throwing shit.
Right, right. That's saying, yeah, like, you kind of I don't know. Yeah, it's really a huge damn mess. It's a huge damn mess, and I think it's gonna continue to get messier, honestly, before it gets cleaner. Um,
Yeah. What are
I
your
I
predictions going forward? What do you think's gonna be made up of this mess?
well, so I think that the serialized More Lies eventually cameras will pick back up. I don't know exactly how long they're gonna be down. As far as I know, they're still down at the time of recording this. Um, but I think they'll eventually pick back up. Season 5 will come at some point. With or without Taylor, I don't know. I think The Bachelorette's at the very least gonna go on pause for a while its other, shows in Bachelor Nation continue on. Um, I don't with the Taylor and Dakota of it all, like, I'm not and I don't know enough about, like, legal stuff to
Mhm.
say, like, I really have no idea, like, how it's gonna play out legally as far as the custody stuff, as far as, like, if Taylor's going to, you know, get in any further, like, legal trouble for
Yeah.
the more recent assaults and things like that. Like, I can't speak to that, but
Ooh,
I
not Taylor having
definitely
a jail special.
yeah, well, I definitely think for her, like, I would say, like, I hope that there are people around her right now to support her, to just keep an eye on her because she already has made it clear that she has, mental health struggles, and I doubt she's in a good place right now with all of this going on.
It's probably very intense, like the custody situation. I'm sure every network and stuff is beating her down. She's losing money left and right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's gonna continue to be a fucking hot ass mess for now.
Yeah. Which I don't know if we'll ever see Taylor on TV again. Or maybe they'll kinda, like, have season 5 up to where she stopped filming.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll edit her out completely.
Mm,
I
mm,
don't know if people will be seeing it as platforming her or not.
yeah.
Who's
Not
gonna
our
listen to Taylor? I don't know. She also has also, like, all the free reign to do, like, YouTubes and whatnot. So I can see if she doesn't get on the show, I can see her well, one, there is a network, I think, out there that would give her something, I think,
Yes.
following this. A lot of people have had I don't know. I think there's a lot of networks that will claiming to give her a comeback, whether it's, like, some of those exclusive
Yeah.
streamers, whether it's OWN. But I don't know if OWN does their scripted docuseries anymore, so who knows, but Lifetime, the Taylor Frankie Paul story, like, I don't know. There are
Yeah,
some avenues, but
when I
maybe
mean
she should take some time, go away for a couple years, be quiet.
yeah, I mean, to be honest, I feel like other reality TV personalities have done worse than this and have come back. Some of them have done worse and haven't even left.
Right, Erica.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah, so it's like, I mean, I definitely think, like, at least professionally, she can come back from this. I think that I think that as far as, like, building up to more mainstream, I think that's done for her. Like, I'm just saying, like, I don't think she can
Yeah,
ever at this point have the trajectory that, like, Whitney's had as far as breaking out of reality TV. Like, I think she's firmly in that box now
yeah.
because it's
I feel
just
like she
too much.
always has been. It seems like that's been her aspiration. I don't know. She
Right,
never seemed to be angling beyond.
right. She at least pretended that she wanted Dancing with the Stars. Uh, but I think though
But she
that,
probably
like,
knew she was gonna be the Bachelorette at that point.
that thing, yeah, I feel like The Bachelorette was kind of like her opportunity though to go to, like, maybe, like, a classier show.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't think she's gonna get another one.
Built her profile, yeah.
Yeah.
Poor
So,
Taylor.
but,
And I don't know, Dakota's probably gonna be talking, stay on the show too.
I really I don't wanna see him anymore. Like,
I don't really wanna see any of the dad talk,
that thing, yeah,
truthfully.
honestly, yeah, the men are all pretty, like, funnily enough, Connor's the only decent one. And
Yeah, yeah.
and he's
And
and
I
he
like that Jesse's husband doesn't show up too much. Or is it Macy's husband that's just always in the cut? No, not Jesse's husband. He's
I think
always
it's
starting
yeah,
drama. Macy's
Jesse's
husband. He just shows
Jesse
up in the suit in the cut, and I'm just like,
yeah.
okay.
Jesse's husband, Jordan, he loves a camera.
You know, he loves starting shit. I'm like, no, Jordan. That's why he got divorce papers.
Ooh. Yeah, no, I can't stand Jordan. He's the worst. I'm like, "Honestly, I'm glad your wife cheated on you. You deserved it."
I wonder what
But
Marciano thinks of all this.
give us what we deserve, which is 5 stars, views, subscriptions, all of it, wherever you're watching or listening to this. If you wanna keep up with us across social media, we are on TikTok, we're on Threads, Instagram, we're on X, we're on Blue Sky, we're on you may be watching us on YouTube right now, like, we are just
Period.
all over the place, like, we're not on Facebook, though, because we're, not 50, but, but you can find us pretty much everywhere else.
Period.
I'm thinking y'all have a wonderful rest of your day and, read the Book of Mormon or something. I don't know.
I read Macy's memoir.
Or don't. Uh,